Welcome to Supplier Spot Spotlight, the podcast where we shine a light on the RV, park, and campground outdoor hospitality industry. Join us as we chat with suppliers, park owners, and staff, uncovering insights, strategies, and stories that will elevate your outdoor experience. Get ready for inspiration and innovation in every episode.
Hey everybody, Bobby here again with Supplier Spot Spotlight Podcast. It's always fun to say, Connor, isn't that? It's like so many words and syllables. So, hey, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. I got Connor Schwab here with Sage Outdoor Advisory. Connor, hey, thanks for jumping on the podcast with me today.
Yeah, my pleasure. And thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, and I've said this to other people while we were talking a little bit offline. This is just a real casual, fun little podcasting I started. I'm, of course, promoting all the suppliers that are on Supplier Spot, and that's kind of the goal behind it. But more importantly is really getting all the suppliers information and businesses out to the RV parks and campground owners so they have a spot that they can go to and just listen and watch at their own pace. So, that's the whole goal with Supplier Spot. And I know we connected. I think we connected somehow maybe on LinkedIn or something, or we probably know people in the industry. Again, I don't ever remember how we connect, but it's always nice to know that we've connected somehow. And that's what's great about this industry is people connect within it. So tell me a little bit about what you think about Supplier Spot and, why you joined it and kind of go from there.
Yeah, I recently set up Sage's profile, and it was a super easy process. I think you're solving a really fundamental problem in the industry, which is basically putting all the information that owners and operators in this space can utilize, compare different services side by side and find out what's the best fit for them. So I think it's a really important tool for all sorts of different folks in the industry. So big fan. I know we just met, but want to do whatever I can to help you because I think it's great for the customers and the growth of the industry and just growing, the outdoor space.
Yeah, that's my whole goal. I know we talked a while back or a couple of weeks ago whenever we first got together, and I used to work for another company in the industry, and when I was let go from them, I really wanted to stay in it, and I really knew that there was like something missing, and especially for us suppliers. I go to I try to go to as many conferences and trade shows as possible, and I really like them. But again, Supplier Spot is just a way to really help promote the suppliers to those RV parks and campground owners who, for one, can't make it to the conferences and trade shows just because they're so busy. And for two, if they forgot who they saw at those conferences or trade shows, they could always go on a Supplier Spot and say, oh, yeah, I remember this person from, the whatever conference. So that's my goal behind it, is just to make it a nice platform where suppliers, I mentioned to you earlier offline, I've said this a few times in other podcasts, I am currently rebuilding the website, working with a great web developer, and we're going to hopefully be launching it. I'm going to say it right now, August 1st. I hope everything goes well, and it's going to be such a nicer platform. So I'm glad that you guys are on it. I'm glad Sage is on it. So now let's talk a little bit about Sage Outdoor Advisory, and give us some information, some history. How to start? Who got it going? How'd you come about? That type of stuff. I always like to know all that good stuff.
Yeah, so our company was founded by our president, Sherry Halala, about 12, 15 years ago. She started in the traditional commercial real estate appraisal firm headquartered in Chicago and did all types of different commercial asset classes. And about 10 years ago, she had a couple clients in the RV resort space and developers who had a number of parks that had her appraising those parks. And they were really happy with her work and started giving her more projects and referring her to more folks. And that just kind of snowballed. And she ended up as the specialist in this kind of niche, like growing and booming niche. And then as time went on, that expanded, from campgrounds and RV resorts into glamping. And she ultimately decided to create, the own branch of the company that's 100% focused on outdoor hospitality. So that's Sage Outdoor Advisory. And what we focus on is anything in outdoor hospitality. And what that means to us is campgrounds, RV parks, RV resorts, glamping, outdoor resorts, marinas, landscape, hotels, kind of anything with an outdoor component. That's our niche. We're 100% focused on that. And that really gives us a lot of specialization and knowledge and expertise. And each time we do a project, we take that data and that knowledge forward with us to the next one. which really is kind of our competitive edge. And in the last 4 years, we've done over 250 feasibility studies and appraisals in outdoor across the U.S. So it's getting up there.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's awesome. It's great too. I do these podcasts, and Mike Harrison and I, we work very closely together, and I always see him doing some quotes and stuff. He's a great guy. We're actually on the Arizona Association Board of Directors together. So, great guy. I always like seeing quotes from him because, his Verde Ranch Resort is just beautiful. I'm not sure if you've been there personally or not. But
yeah, I have.
Yeah. So it's great, and so it's always cool to see the same types of people in the industry and, all these other, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure all these other ones are pretty awesome resorts. I just never had a chance to go to them yet. So, it's cool to see how much work you guys are doing. There's a lot of cool stuff here.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we've started to work a lot with Mike, and I can't say enough good things about him. I think he's probably one of the smartest people in the industry, and not afraid to tell you what he thinks, which I appreciate.
And I'll be honest with you too. And if Mike, you watch this, he's one of the ones that really influenced me to rebuild the website. Because when I first did a podcast with him, he's like, it's just, I don't see a whole lot into this. And I'm like, well, why not? And he gave me some really good feedback. And I said, hey, I'm all about constructive criticism. Don't feel like you're going to insult me, because whatever you say, I'm going to take to heart and make it better. So he's a great guy. And there's a lot of people in this industry that are like that. That's what I like so much about the industry is, I've had several different, if you want to call them careers or jobs in my life, where I've done it for a little while and just kind of like, all right, this is just bringing in some money. And now with this one, I'm doing all this on my own. I keep saying this in podcasts. I'm riding my wife's coattails right now. Thank you, Christy, so much for letting me do this while I build up what I want to make successful. So it's really nice to be able to, and I still do a little bit of consulting work as well. So, but, I'm bringing in a little bit of income, but not as much as I used to. But I know Supplier Spot's gonna be something great, and I really want to make it useful for the industry. So offline, you were telling me a little bit about something to do with like some maps and datas or something like that. So I'm gonna stop sharing the screen and let you take over. And you want to show us what you were talking about? It was pretty cool what you were showing me. So
yeah, so our company, and maybe I'll kind of back up a little bit because not everyone understands really what a feasibility study and an appraisal is for, but essentially, we stand in between owners and operators and money. So banks and private investors. And our role is the independent third party who's specialized, who can look at an opportunity and assess the market value. So I'll maybe give you a little bit of an example. Most of what we do, we'll have landowners come and they're going to want to develop a project like an RV resort or a glamping resort, or maybe they want to make an expansion or sell. So what we come in is, as the independent third parties, we look at everything. We look at the market, we look at the competition, we look at the attractions, seasonality, demographics, a lot of different data. We spend a ton of time looking at comps, project rates and occupancy and revenue, project operating expenses, project the development costs. We look at the site, and then the debt financing. And essentially what we're trying to do is see if and how profitable your project is going to be and how the returns are going to be. And that's ultimately, if you go to a bank and you're given your business proposal, that has value, but obviously you have a vested interest in that project succeeding. So your numbers might have a little bit of bias to them. And maybe this is your first time doing a project like that. So, banks or private investors, they're going to want to see the opinion of someone who does not have a vested interest, who's seen a lot of these different projects. So that's kind of where we come in, is we validate your model so that you can go raise money to get your project done. So that's really kind of the role of feasibility studies and appraisals. So every single project, we're looking at comps anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15. And that helps us with rates, occupancy, amenity analysis, gaps in the market positioning, and things like that. Mm-hmm. And every time we do a project, we enter that information into our database. And what we wanted to do in the glamping space, and I can kind of share my screen here.
Yeah, here, I'll stop sharing.
And we do this. So this is a free tool on our website because, we're really big proponents of, can you see this okay?
Yeah.
So if you go to our website and under data and insights, the Sage glamping map and database. So this is specifically for the glamping only industry, not RV parks, but we have this free tool that shows all the professionalized, a majority of the professionalized legitimate glamping locations in the US. And if you enlarge this, you can actually zoom in and see all these different locations. Where are you based out of again? Is it Colorado?
I'm in Colorado. Yeah, Colorado.
Yeah, so like if you zoom into Colorado, you can see all these different glamping locations around Denver, and there's about 15 that we're tracking. So, you know, you might see Collective Retreats Vail or Tennessee Pass, Black Tree Resort. And these little icons are essentially the different unit types, and you can actually filter. So like if you said, I wanted to see all the safari tents and yurts that were being used, all the locations that are utilizing those in Denver, you could filter those out and you could see, and then you could see the name and you could look them up. So if you're trying to launch a glamping project or an outdoor project, you can look and see what's around in your area and start to do some projections. So that was kind of a free tool. And then we also wanted people to have, and customers to have, more access to find these locations so they can get more visibility and opportunities as well. So that's just kind of one example of a free tool. We also have the North American Glamping Report, which was a project we collaborated with KOA Terramore to bring some really valuable customer insights. So KOA got the customer feedback, and then we brought all the business data kind of that you saw there to publish that, to have more free information.
Yeah, that's great.
And then we've recently started a blog, which has, I'm doing a podcast, co-hosting the Glampatech podcast with Nick Perslow, where we're interviewing different specialists in the industry to give people information. And we have a lot of information as well in the RV resort, RV park space. We actually probably do about 60% campground and RV resorts. So we have a lot of info on those realms as well.
That's awesome. Got a lot of cool stuff going on.
And our philosophy is we really want to try to offer as much free information as possible and help people, you know, even if people aren't going to move forward with our service, if our service is a little bit expensive. And so we want to deliver as much free information or introductions so that people can continue to progress their projects and open, even if, you know, we're not engaged on it.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. That's exactly what I like about all this type of stuff, is there's, you know, opportunity to just get free resources, free tools. You know, I like that little map thing. That was really cool to be able to zoom in and see that type of stuff. So yeah, you know, and I follow all the KOA reports and stuff as well. So it's always nice to know there's a location you can go and get this stuff. You're also mentioning that you got some more stuff. You also mentioned that you got more stuff that you're being putting on the website here pretty soon. What type of stuff is that?
Yeah, we're going to have a page for outdoor industry events. So you can see kind of what's coming up across the country, including the ones that we'll be attending. And then we're going to be releasing the podcast and a monthly newsletter that will have some data insights that, you know, are updated in real time. So kind of the latest data that's coming out, and, you know, sharing insights from speaking with experts in the industry, essentially.
That's great. Cool. This sounds awesome. I mean, I'm just browsing your website as you're talking. So yeah, this is great stuff. So, you know, what upcoming shows are you going to that you know of right now? Do you have any?
The two biggest ones, and I recommend all your listeners, the glamping one in Denver, in Aurora. So the glamping show, that's the biggest annual glamping event. Yep. I think for anyone who's you know, an operator, it's the best opportunity to see all the different unit types, feel, touch, ask questions, get pricing. And then also all the different service providers like us, you know, who are offering feasibility studies, or designers and architects. So I always kind of tell people it's a year's worth of networking and education that happens in 2 days. And then the other one is OHI, which, you know, used to be RVIC, but the outdoor hospitality industry. That's more focused on RV resorts and campgrounds. Very similar. You get to see a lot of different unit types. You get to hear from industry leaders and meet a lot of the service providers. So, I can't recommend those.
They call that OHCE. Yeah.
Yeah, they just changed the name.
Outdoor Hospitality Conference Expo from Outdoor Hospitality Industry. Yes.
Okay, good.
All this OH stuff. So yeah, that's great. Yeah. You know, they have all the information. That's a great thing too that I put on. How do I share this tab? Great thing about Supplier Spot, kind of like what you're talking about, is that's actually a page that I created as well, that you can actually go and, you know, view the upcoming events. I try to put them on there based on what I know or whenever I hear about it, you know, but it's up here, conference and trade shows. So if you know of any others, Connor, please let me know so I can get them up here right away. But I try to get them all up here as much as possible. So I want to promote everything across the U.S. that we can.
Cool. I think we'll have it up in like 2 weeks. So yeah, check it out and we can both get it full.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I'll definitely be at the glamping show as well. Planning on attending OHCE as well. So yeah, I'll be there and got a lot of coming up in the fall that'll be at. There's a couple other shows that are on the horizon that are going to be pretty great ones that I think. So we'll keep working on getting those up there. So, well, great, Connor. I mean, this was good information. I don't know if you have anything else to share or not, if you want to end on something.
Let's see. Yeah, I guess if any of your guests are interested in a feasibility study and appraisal, like the two main values that we provide is one, consultation on your, business proposal. Mm-hmm. We help people a lot with like, hey, how many units should I build that, it's right for the demand in that area? What's unit mm-hmm. mix? If it's an RV resort, how many back-ends and pull-throughs, how important are full hookups? Should I add glamping units? Should I use tents? Should I use park model cabins? So those are questions we help people with. We can do a really in-depth amenity analysis. So what amenities are really driving rates? What's something the competition doesn't have? So helping people consult on their proposal, especially from a financial, we're really the numbers nerds. Okay. And our whole report, it's quite in-depth and robust. It's really long. It's usually like 100 to 150 pages. Yeah. And the reason that we do that is because when we do these reports, we want all of our projections and our numbers to be supported by evidence in the market so that we can instill confidence in you, but arguably even more importantly, the potential investors or banks who are going to put, potentially millions of dollars on the line on your project. So there's a huge emphasis on that. And that's really our specialization is the money piece. So it usually takes us about 7 weeks to turn one of these around, give or take how busy our project is. And like a full blown feasibility study is usually about $15,000. So that's kind of the basics and hopefully helps your audience. And if they want to get in touch, they can go to our website and they can schedule a complimentary intro consultation with one of our specialists, and we'll learn about your project, deliver as much free value as we can. And if you feel like it makes sense and would be beneficial, obviously we can engage.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, $15,000, that's a good investment, I would think, to, see what your park is worth and all the good stuff that's driving it. So.
And I always try to tell people, that's certainly a lot of money. I'm an entrepreneur. And if I had to try to fork over that kind of dough, I would be super hesitant. Yeah. But I tell people like, hey, think about it this way. You're about to be investing 3, 5, 10 years of your time. Mm-hmm. You could be investing hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars of your own money or other people's money where your assets might be collateralized. Yep. You're going to want to get a second opinion before you press launch because, takeoff is optional, but landing is mandatory. So you want to make sure you're not missing any big red flags. Maybe there's big competition moving into the area or something that might impact your construction or the zoning. And you're going to want a second opinion on something that is going to be this big of a time and financial investment.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, great, Connor. I do appreciate it. And like you said, you guys could always go to, let's see here. It is sageoutdooradvisory.com and do that. Or if you can remember Supplier Spot, if you just go to Supplier Spot and go right up to search listings, and you can search for him, or he's right up here at the top right now. So you click on it, send a message, it'll go right to Connor. So a couple ways to get a hold of you. And so, yeah, thanks again, Connor, for being on here. This is good information. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Bobby. I love what you're doing for the space. I think it's an awesome tool. And anything we can do to help, let us know.
I appreciate that. Thanks. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks for tuning in to Supplier Spot Spotlight. Keep shining bright in the RV, park, and campground outdoor hospitality industry. Stay tuned for more illuminating conversations with industry experts. Until next time, enjoy the great outdoors.